for the type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D!
Right here, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. I'm in Indiana. Sean Belisha back in our Woodward Sports compound. Hello, friend.
How are you, pal?
I'm down in the dumps, Sean, like a lot of America.
It's a tough day for America all around. More on that in a second.
Absolutely. We got Spencer Raxter in the building. Spenny,
Hello.
no more Eagle calls.
No, sad Eagle today.
Is KG in the building?
It's Justin.
Young Justin in the building. All right. Young Justin, your Team USA, your thoughts?
I mean, that was a gritty performance with no McAvoy and no Tkachuk. I think that really hurt him in the end. But, I mean, you can't leave McDavid wide open in the slot like that. Which is just a
true.
joke.
That is absolutely true. No, we got a ton to get to today. It is a nickel package Friday per usual, and we're doing it, everybody. But Sean, again, a sad, sad day for America. Not only last night, Sean, do we fall in the winner-take-all, the only game that matters, that totally did away what happened last week with USA Hockey. Not only do we fall from grace, not only do we lose to our political – we know what the political landscape is with our neighbors to the north right now. Not only do we choke in the biggest moment, but, Sean, maybe just as big, a tough 24 hours, Hooters has officially – now, Sean, talk about being kicked when you're down.
It's unbelievable. How could you hurt us like that? Like, come on, man. Neil, it was funny. I remember I sent you the picture when I was in Switzerland of the Hooters in Switzerland on a Sunday, and the place was absolutely packed. And I was like, are you kidding me? The only thing missing is if I saw Jameis Winston strolling down the street, I would have felt like I was at home. But yes, a devastating moment. Many of us at a certain age have to confess that we spent a lot, and I mean a lot of time in Hooters over the course of the years. Just a sad, sad day, Neil Rule, and I'm just heartbroken right now.
In the Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into there, get your thoughts out there. If you want to skip the line, go ahead, use the super chat. Steve O'Baby, Neil, yesterday's game against Canada broke me. Tears were coming down my eyes. We have that, and then on the flip side of that coin, Hurricane says, Hooters in San Diego, still the best. What's your favorite Hooters? 248. No, I'm Sean, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that one. I'm kidding. So how does this work then, Sean? So if we won, Canada was going to be the 51st state, and since we lost, we become a province of Canada now? How's this working?
Yeah, I think that's how it works. Gosh, that's the silliness. It's unbelievable. It built to a crescendo, and again, it shows you just how maniacal social media was. Hey, listen, it was great for the game. I'm going to say it again, Neil. I've been saying this for a long time. Shame on the National Hockey League for using 9 years to get to this point. It's absolute shame. I mean, you want to talk about a boost to the game. You want to talk about a boost to all these players' careers, and all of a sudden people are talking about them on the mainstream. I mean, there's nothing like listening to Stephen A. Smith break down the game that I love the most. I'm looking up and I'm watching these guys talk about it, and I'm going, is this real? Absolute lunacy that the National Hockey League couldn't see how big this was and how big it could be. And so many of these names and a lot of the names that I just heard you talk about and I heard Justin talk about had to wait to have this moment, this best of the best moment until 2025. It's a shame. It was a great tournament. I mean, a massive W for those of us that love the game, and obviously a massive W for Canada. But Neil, like I told you on Monday, and I told you and Spenny, this had vibes of the 2010 Olympics written all over it for me. It did. And if people forget, there was a really meaningless 2-goal win against Canada where spontaneous celebrations started all across the land, right? And then when it mattered most, it was a 3-2 loss in overtime. Sidney Crosby with the golden goal back then. Brian Rafalski, unfortunately, had to wear the cap of the villain. And this time it's going to be Austin Matthews that has to wear the cap of the villain as Connor McDavid scored in overtime. And Neil, I know you're a big McDavid fan. You want to talk about a guy redeeming himself? He was lost most of the night. It was really weird to watch. I don't know if he psyched himself out. I don't know if his brain was moving too fast and his legs were moving faster than his brain was thinking. It was not a good game for Connor McDavid, but everybody's going to remember his heroics, that's for sure.
It wasn't a good game for Connor McDavid until it was. And that's where it was. In the chat, Copacetic Sushi, Neil, nothing changed in my life from the outcome of the game. Well, we say that now, having lost, right? It was weird, Sean.
Fuck Canada.
I didn't see... Sound Kayak, Canadians are our allies, not political enemies. Stop
Fuck
with the
them.
annexing.
Fuck them.
BS.
Let's go take it. They can't stop us. They can't stop us. We can go up there right now and take that whole fucking country, and there's not a damn thing they can do to stop us. Fuck Canada.
Okay. It was weird, though. Detroit Arrow, last night, just further proof of the downfall of, quote, American excellence. Sean, all I'm going to say is, it was weird. Politicians, both sides. I didn't see the tweets last night, that F around and find out Canada tweets and stuff like that. It was weird. It was almost like they forgot the game was going on. I thought that was pretty interesting. But more interesting than that, Sean, people in the chat, lot of love for Hooter stories. I met Kevin Nash at the Hooters in Taylor. So there's that out there as well. Tommy K, Fort Lauderdale has the best Hooters. That came from Detroit Arrow.
I've been there.
I bet that's a good Hooters.
But it was solid. I have actually some good memories there, but we'll save that for Woodward Sports After Dark.
RM Dole 19. How about top 5 Austin Matthews blown coverages? Sean, let's do this because I do want to get into the game because I think there are a lot of angles. And number one, when we were connected, Neil, make your bed. I'm not a big make your bed guy. I'm not. That's like an over detail thing for me. I know a lot of people say, yeah, like a lot of people say you should make your bed to give yourself a feeling of accomplishment. No, I don't need to do that, dude. Like obviously we're not staying the night here because we're going to leave after the game. But at home, I'm not a big make your bed guy. And it's funny because my wife is. But anyway, getting back to the real world here. Sean, I heard you and Flannel Sam talking in the studio about Austin Matthews. And Flannel Sam made the plea. And he said, please, can we not attack Austin Matthews? And Sean, look, we've been friends a long time, so I kind of know your style, and I kind of know how you attack things and break things down. You did the Sean Belizean, very diplomatic. Okay, that's fine, but can you give me this about Austin Matthews? And you did it the way you do it. I, however, am going to take a different tact with it, Sean. When is it Austin Matthews? Like, for real, when is this him? Because it really seems to be him, Sean. Mm-hmm. And in the biggest moment in the game, in probably the last decade, internationally, in international hockey, in over a decade, the biggest moment, he loses the face-off to Connor McDavid, then he loses track of Connor McDavid, and then Connor McDavid, who is the best player in the world, had space in the slot, and you know the rest. So when is this what Austin Matthews is, Sean? When is it?
When he has his big moment, we can stop saying those things. Because that's exactly what I said to Flannel. Whether you like it or not is inconsequential. Those types of things exist for a reason. And if one of the quote-unquote greatest players in the world has, I hate to say this because I respect his game, consistently failed in the big moment, you got to wear it, man. You got to wear it. You got to wear it around your neck. It's the same thing. I mean, Neil, you know, one of my favorite bits is having fun at the expense of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I love it. The way those people talk, it is unbelievable. It's like the whole rest of the world is in on the joke except for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like it's the bit that keeps on giving year after year after year. Well, I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing about what they're going to do, because how often in that moment have their big players disappeared? And I don't think it's fair to Nylander, to be honest with you, because I've watched Nylander up his game. I've watched Nylander produce, whereas the guys like Marner and Matthews haven't done it. So if you want to know why those stereotypes exist, well, look no further than the actual results. And I'll take it a step further. I'm convinced today that Connor Hellebuyck is the best goaltender in the world. I'm convinced of it. I really am. Local kid, played high school hockey, props, all that stuff. But guess what? There is a stereotype for him, too, that when the big moment comes, he can't put the team over the top. All those talented teams in Winnipeg. Hockey News said years ago, oh, they're going to win the Stanley Cup. They had the obligatory, your 2019 Stanley Cup champions 3 years in advance and everything. When you consistently fail on the big stage, in the big moment, what do you expect people to say?
He's a pussy.
Right? And how do I argue with that? And you're right, Neil. That's my diplomatic, I try to be fair, because unfortunately in our world right now, and you know this better than anybody, people have lost the ability to have the both things can be true conversations. It's got to be one way or the other. Austin Matthews is a phenomenal talent. Austin Matthews has put up huge numbers. Wow, I'd love to have Austin Matthews, but Austin Matthews hasn't had his moment yet.
He's Lamar
That's
Jackson.
Undeniable. How anybody could get mad one way or the other is those are facts. All I can do is give you the facts. You make your decision from there, but those are the facts. Phenomenal player. He hasn't had his big moment, and more often than not, he's flamed out miserably in the big moment.
You saw it last night. It was the levels to superstardom in the NHL.
100%.
You saw Connor McDavid. He wins the faceoff in the offensive zone, wins the faceoff to himself and gets a shot on the net, and then he's wide open in the slot, buries the opportunity to give it to him. Austin Matthews loses that faceoff against Connor McDavid that ends up in the overtime winner, blows his breakaway opportunity that would have ended overtime in the first 2 minutes, and leaves Connor McDavid wide open in the slot, which is an act of terrorism. That was an act of terrorism, to leave the best player in the fucking world wide open in the slot. It just showed that Austin Matthews isn't at that level. And nobody thinks like Austin Matthews is as good as Connor McDavid. If you do, you're an idiot. But he had the opportunity. He had the breakaway. He had the shot to try to beat Binnington, and he couldn't. And Connor McDavid didn't miss his opportunity.
You hit the nail right on the head, Spenny. Matthews had 2 A-grade chances to win the game, and he didn't. McDavid had 1, and he buried. That's the difference. McDavid is a killer. Austin Matthews just constantly... I was taught when I was 8 years old that you have to go and play defense on the center if you lose the draw. And the fact that at the highest level, in best-on-best competition, he's going to have that big of a mental lapse just proves that these narratives are true. He hasn't had a big moment. He's 0 for 7 with the game on the line in winner-go-home situations. At a certain point, the reputation is true. And for right now, I think that Austin Matthews is overrated and not even remotely close to the class of Connor McDavid and McKinnon. Like, the way that they're able to control the game is to such more of a nuanced level than the way that Austin Matthews does. You don't feel that control that the McCarrs, the McKinnons, and the McDavids had when the game got tight at the end of the game and the overtime.
Paper Chungus in the Woodward Sports chat, they needed a fight to set the tone. Never happened. Paper Chungus, if you need a fight to set a tone in that game, in that environment, then I can't help you. Then you don't belong out there. And I knew, Sean, let's save it because we're getting late for the break. I want to keep the nickel package on time. This is my goal today. I want to get to all of them in a timely manner. It won't happen, but I want to do it. So we'll get to all that. Real quick, also, CT Squid, Fort Lauderdale's the original Hooters. The next best Hooters is Augusta National during Masters Week. I got to pull up to the Hooters at Augusta. I got to do that one time. And what you need to do, by the way, if you need a card, you got to go to feldmanauto.com, because there are many, many Feldman Automotive dealerships in and around the Metro Detroit area. They're deep-rooted. They've been around since 1996. They do great charity work with the Children's Miracle Network Hospital as well. We know about Feldman Chevrolet and Novi because they're Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, the nation's #1 EV dealer. But if you want a Ford, if you want a Kia, all the brands are represented. If you want a used car, all you have to do is just want a car and then go to feldmanauto.com, and the rest is easy. I know that from experience. Sean knows that from experience. Sam Flannel knows that from experience. feldmanauto.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
What's up, everybody? We are back. Shop.woodwardsports.com. We are back. The Red Wings are going to be back. The Pistons are back. We're doing it, everyone. It's a playoff push. Get geared out. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. All new Detroit shirt designs. And by the way, we got the Lions covered. You want Myles Garrett here? Get your F Them Pick shirt. So that's out there as well. So get the F Them Pick shirt. Shop.woodwardsports.com. All right, we're back at it. Nickel Package Friday, off and running. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean. I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Just had to get out of the cold and go somewhere tropical. Sean Belizean, Spencer Raxter, young Justin in the building. I saw KG was lurking as well. All of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into there. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel as we continue our push towards 80,000 subscribers. If you want to jump the line in the chat, do what Sound Kayak did. Use the super chat. Very simply, please get Spenny a coffee. Spenny, are you okay today?
No, I'm not okay. Fuck Canada. Shit sucks. So close. But whatever. We'll get him in the Olympics.
Hey,
We'll
Spenny.
get him in the Olympics. I'm just sick of seeing people seeing red-blooded Americans lie down for these Canadians. Oh, stop being mean to them. Don't say that. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's what it's all
This is
about.
America, Jack.
It's America.
If you don't love it, you can get the hell out.
You can get out. That's what it's all about.
All right. Let's get into it though. No, but Sean, I do want to talk about the game, and then we got the football stuff. Everybody, calm down. We got the football stuff. All right. We got the Lions nickel package, the NFL nickel package, Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers. We're going across the gamut of Detroit sports today. But Sean, I do want to localize it in the game last night and this tournament, and I got to give big props to Dylan Larkin. Because, and you guys called this, by the way, so props to you guys. And Sean, you kind of led the charge for this with Dylan Larkin playing in this tournament. Sean, am I over-exaggerating it to say, to me, he took a huge step in his game. He took a huge step in the way he's viewed. And then, Sean, he chased it. I love the quote he had last night. We've had a tough time with USA Hockey getting guys to play in the World Championships. Guys who are at home watching this, I hope you want a piece of this. That you got to go to World Championships and prove themselves and play for your country. We've got to start winning that tournament. Sean, Dylan Larkin I think, and this isn't because we're in Detroit or anything like that, I think Dylan Larkin was the biggest winner from the American hockey camp in all this.
You're not going to get much of an argument from me, and this is why, Neil, I go back to a couple of weeks ago, the people crying about his usage. I mean, it was insane. Are you kidding me? He was going to become a better player. He was going to become a better leader. The guys that he were playing with, I say it again, I think Vincent Trocheck is horribly, woefully underrated. This was going to be an absolute win for Dylan Larkin. It was. And he's going to become a better player because of it. Now, it might not manifest itself. And when I say that, I hope that there aren't people out there that are, oh, you said he'd become a better player. I'm expecting 45 goals and 50 assists. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about all around. It's a great experience. He makes a good point about the World Championship. But, and I know people are going to take this as a shot, but I have to say it anyway, it's a lot easier to say that when your team hasn't been a playoff team. The problem with the World Championships is in the spring, okay? And so many of these guys are all in the playoffs. It's a lot easier to say that and to call people out when your team hasn't been part of the playoff. It is. So I'm going to back away on that one a little bit. I understand his point. I'm not saying he's wrong, but when you haven't been to the playoffs, but Justin's been to the playoffs the last 5 years, and Spenny's been to the playoffs 4 out of 5 years, and KG's been to the playoffs for 6 straight years, well, those guys' seasons are going into late April and into May, and maybe even late May, and God forbid, even June. So there's a lot of hockey there. The World Championship, because of when it's played, is never ever going to get the best of the best. And that's why people like me have been crying and screaming and yelling for years. Why the frick, Fox 2, why the
Fox
frick
2.
don't you go and bring back the World Cup of Hockey? Why on earth can't you get on the same page with the IOC or the IIHF and find a way to make this work for everybody so we can see that best and the best thing? But good for him to come out and say what was on his mind. Good for him to play the way he did. Good for him to lead the way he did. As I said a couple weeks ago, Dylan Larkin is a better player today because of this experience. Period.
Chris in the chat, it's time for Wings fans to stop being soft and call Larkin what he is, a 1C. Sean, am I oversimplifying this, that the Red Wings are that 1C away? Like when you look across the board, right, the Panthers and the Oilers, just because they played in the Stanley Cup Finals last year. If you look at how they're constructed, they got a dude, right? Matthew Tkachuk and Connor McDavid on the other side. And it just seems that way, right? When you go across the board of the good teams in the NHL, are the Red Wings that away? Like, Sean, just like the whole Connor Bedard, and look, the book's obviously still out on him. But is it that simple for the Red Wings, Sean, to where if they can find a way to get that premier player, then boom, they're a Stanley Cup contender, i.e. perennial division contender, conference final, Stanley Cup. Is it that simple, Sean? Because we've gone back and forth with that battle. Is Dylan Larkin a 1C? Can you win if Dylan Larkin is your 1C? I just think, too, that this kind of reinforces where I'm at with it. If Dylan Larkin is your 2C, then you're a Stanley Cup contender. Am I oversimplifying this?
No, I don't think so. I think the Red Wings are in a different spot, though. I think you know as well as I do the way things are today, right now, okay? What is it, February 21st? This is not a Stanley Cup contender. I know nobody wants to hear it, okay? It is not. This team today, right now, is not a Stanley Cup contender. Stop it. You're being an immense slapdick, okay? But we can all allow our brains to start thinking about it a little bit. And I think this is why I'll say it goes beyond Dylan Larkin. When it's Augustine, or Sebastian. I still think it's going to be Augustine when you have that goaltender, okay, as opposed to what they have right now. And you have these guys, and you have a Lucas Raymond who, in my mind, had a coming out party, okay? He let everybody know what we've kind of known around here. He really had a coming out party on the world stage. I think when you get to that point, we can start having those conversations. But, Neil, to your point, and I remember I did this last winter, and people didn't like it, compare Dylan Larkin to other 1Cs around the league. This is a fun game that you can do at home. Seriously. I'm not going to waste our time here and get guys like Justin and I could get up to our nose in hockey geek juice, okay? I know a majority of you don't give two shits, and that's okay. I've accepted that long ago. But for those of you that maybe care, go do that right now. You know, pull it up and look at every team's 1C and compare and contrast how Dylan Larkin, well, compares and contrasts to what other teams have had. I think it's favorable. It's in that mid area, though. Justin, did I use mid in the appropriate context? Yes, you used it in the correct context. All right, thank you. I heard Justin say it, and I just thought. No, all jokes aside, it's in that mid area. I'll take him as the 1C over a lot of teams, and then I'll take the other guy versus against Dylan Larkin. So for me, let's see the boost that he gets from this, because I'm telling you right now, guys, I've seen it my whole life. Any guy that played in this tournament's going to get a boost. That's the way it is. That's what happens when you're around the best. That's what happens when you watch the best. That's what happens. You pick up just little things that make you a better and a more complete player.
No, seriously, why does it smell like caca and wee-whiz in here?
In the super chat, by the way, Ed Konya says, gave $5 Canadian, by the way. It's connotated on there, Canadian, to heal Spenny's sore butt. So,
yeah, you better send it to your mother.
Neil, I gotta say, this is maybe a two things can be true scenario, but I truly believe that Dylan Larkin can be a 1C and a championship contender, but that looks like him being a Robin. He's no Batman. The Batman of this team is Lucas Raymond and then another star if you add it. If you're telling me he's the third best forward in this team, I am completely comfortable with that as being what we roll into a playoff series with. It just really depends on who we bring in. If you bring in someone who's an elite winger, then I think that Dylan Larkin being the Sebastian Aho of the Red Wings moving forward, I comped him to Henrik Zetterberg earlier today. I think that he has a lot of Henrik Zetterberg in him to be a 1C on a championship level team the way that he plays. So me personally, I do believe that Dylan Larkin is a 1C going into a playoff series that could win you a Stanley Cup at some point, but he's going to need help to do it. He's not going to be the best player on a Stanley Cup winning team. He's going to have to be the third, the fourth, or the fifth behind Seider, Edmondson, Raymond, and then, yes, we're going to have to bring in another really potent offensive player at some point in the next 2 to 3 years.
What you just said, though, is the difference. And I'll keep going back to that because I agree with what you just said. If you're expecting him to be the guy that grabs a downtrodden Spenny by the scruff of his neck and says, get over here, quit making jokes about people banging other Canadian mothers, do it, get over here. That's literally fair. grabbing him by the scruff of the neck. I don't think that Dylan Larkin is that guy. He might be. There might be a level yet and everything. But, Justin, I agree. You know what? I love Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki is fantastic. I wouldn't give Nick Suzuki up for anything, okay? But Nick Suzuki's in that same class.
Oh, 100%.
Nick Suzuki is a guy that I'll take him. I'll go to war with him. All of that. He's probably going to get you a big goal. As Dylan Larkin's going to get you a big goal. But he's not that guy that says, come here, boys. I got Spenny by the scruff of the neck, and I got KG by the scruff of the neck. Let's go this way. He is the guy that needs some support here, some support there, a couple guys on the blue line, whatever the case may be.
I think Suzuki, your comp, and Aho, my comp, I think somewhere in the middle between those two is Dylan Larkin, and I think that that's abundantly fair to Dylan Larkin. I think that he has the ability to be, a top 10, top 12 center in the NHL, but it's the matter of who does he have around him to support him to be there. The fact that he has Raymond right now who's surging and showing that he has the true potential to be a top 5 winger in the NHL, that that's going to be a big boost for him. And then if you bring in, someone a caliber around Raymond, a little bit better than Larkin, or even around Larkin's class, and you have Raymond being the Batman, that's when I really see this team taking that next step and winning a playoff series or two or making a run.
In the super chat, real quick before we cut to the break, Canada Bob with another Canadian super
That's
chat.
crazy work.
Spenny, buy a beer from Canada. Canada and USA rivalry is healthy for all of us. I'm a kill tough Detroit sports. I'm a kill tough Detroit sports fan. Ignore the 3 media members hating the USA. A lot of Canadian love for our Americans.
It's
I'm
all
already
jokes.
doing it.
It's all jokes, people.
100%. Yeah, Spenny's a big fan of Canada. Top 5 things about Canada. Number 1, fully nude strip clubs. That was his number 1. He loves
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is a lot of
I
love.
like ham too. I'm not going to call their fucking ham bacon. I'll tell you that. But I don't got a problem with Canada. The USA is better. I don't got a problem with
Listen
Canada.
to me.
I like Canada.
Take a walk on St. Catherine Street. You'll see things that you can't unsee. Like, honestly, I'm not getting into that. Again, Woodward after dark. I could tell you some stories, but there are things that you can't unsee. It's amazing, fantastic, and the poutine's pretty good too.
Ferris Khan in the chat. I am transactional. If I am mentioned, I will hit the like button. Ferris Khan, very Neil Rule of you, and I respect it. So I'll read it. Now do your part and click the like button. Planet Fitness, everybody. Well, they're in the Planet Fitness studios. But again, there's a Planet Fitness in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Guess what? I can go work out there because I'm a Black Card member for just $24.99 a month. Their gyms are everywhere. The gyms are all clean. You can use anything you want in the Planet Fitness with that Black Card membership. The hydro massage chairs, tanning, all of it is there for you. You know someone in your life that's paying $70 or $80 a month for a gym membership. Why? Planet Fitness is the move. PlanetFitness.com. You can just pull in the parking lot. There's over 50 of them in the Metro Detroit area alone. So again, everybody, don't pay more money to lift the same weights. Go to Planet Fitness.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. You can get a hot leather, neck shave, scalp massage, hot towel treatment from one of our lovely, talented stylists. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Like I said, walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. And Neil, I do got to do a little public service announcement for the people because I don't hate Canada. I don't. I hate France. Like it's not Canada's not France. I hate France. I actually hate France.
Yeah, what the French do to you?
Yeah, fuck French. Fuck the French. Fuck France. I don't care if you're my best friend. I don't care if you are my brother. I don't care if you bore my child. If you are my baby mama. If we are playing sports against each other, it's fuck you. Forever. You are the enemy. And then once it's over, it's fine. But in the heat of battle, it's fuck you. I'm trying to kill you. That's what sports are all about. I don't have any ill will towards Canada. I hate France. Fuck France. But Canada's fine. I'm cool with Canada.
All right, there it is, Spencer, with the public service announcement. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Nickel Package Friday. My name is Neil Rule. That's my friend Sean Belesian. That's Canada's friend Spencer Raxter. KG's in the building. Young Justin around there somewhere as well. All of you in the chat. The Dull Spoon. Even Connor McDavid can't do it all by himself. He has Draisaitl and Heyman. Also in the Woodward Sports chat. Mike Willett, it was a sad day when Studio 10 Gentlemen's Club in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario burned down back in 2019. Pete Smith, shout out to Tunnel Barbecue. Rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace, Tunnel Barbecue.
TBQ was awesome. Really was. Just right off the tunnel. That was a great spot, man. There are a lot of great places to eat in Windsor. I was at one last week. Great. There's some damn good food in Windsor, really.
No, there is, absolutely. Matthew Kruger, Neil, you got a hell of a turkey neck going on right now. Yeah, the shadows aren't kind to me here. I will say that, no doubt about it. But yeah, all right, it is Nickel Package Friday, like we said. Let's get into this. Sean, we'll let hockey have its moment. We'll start with the Red Wings Nickel Package, and then we'll move into football. Is that fair?
I don't know how much Red Wing is actually in there though, because you asked me to do that last night, and I think I got caught up in the moment, the Four Nations moment. But there's some in there for sure.
All right, let's do it then. Let's drop. Spenny, you want to drop the puck on the hockey Red Wings Nickel Package?
Yeah, I will. First question of the hockey Nickel Package is number one. International hockey is outstanding. Explain to me why the NHL left it for 9 years.
I think, Sean, that we're seeing the reason now. And I hope it's not this, but I think that it is. Television rights for their own stuff. I honest to God, Sean, I think that's what it is. This was a money-making opportunity that they had to get the lay of the land right, where they could control some of the TV rights to it and move on. Because they're never going to have the TV rights to the Olympics. So I don't know what the financials look like that. But I think that's why, Sean. Believe it or not, I think that's why. Weird, huh?
I think there's more legitimacy to that than anybody wants to admit. I will say this, as I don't hide it, I never will. As a lifelong hockey fan, I haven't seen this much buzz and this much chatter about the game that I love the most since 2010. And coincidentally, the last time that happened was during international hockey, during the Olympics. So it's a crying shame that it took this long to get it back on the big stage.
Number two,
second question of the hockey Nickel Package. Gonna be a letdown watching NHL games after seeing the best versus best for the last 9 days, isn't it?
Wait a minute, Sean. Your people told me I love hockey's the greatest game. I love hockey. So surely they'll be locked into Buffalo Anaheim on a Tuesday night, right, Sean? I was told your people told me this. Your people said this to me.
I can't wait to see how slow the game is on Saturday afternoon. I'm serious, because our eyes have been trained watching this the past 8 days, right? 9 days, whatever the hell. They all run together now. Our eyes have been trained. And trust me when I say this, Neil, and you know this as a broadcaster, okay? You've done every level of basketball, okay? I had a day once where I kid you not, I did a high school game, and then I had to go straight to a major junior game. I couldn't keep up. Even though I had done these games for so many years, I couldn't keep up because my eyes were trained to watching the speed level and the compete level at a completely different level. So this is going to be one of those things, I think, as we're watching the Wings, and everybody's fired up about the Wings coming back. More on that in a second. I think we're going to have to adjust our eyes because the speed and level of play that we witnessed, you are not going to see that on Saturday. Not even close.
Skydog722 in the chat, Neil, because the NHL is too busy trying to expand to cities that don't want them. Matthew in the chat, are we still able to watch the Red Wings, Pistons, and Tigers on Bally's or FanDuel, I guess, as they go by now, or do we have to buy Prime now? No, nothing changed. Nothing changed. The FanDuel app is still the FanDuel app. It's just another medium that they can push the product on. Nothing has changed. You don't get it for free because you have Prime. you're paying for it. Bottom line, you're still paying for it. Next down.
Next question. Did hockey seduce anyone that wasn't already a fan?
Sean, I think that's being overblown. They might have pulled in a couple of fans, but all I know is, and this is the thing that no one's talked about, and to be fair, we haven't really talked about. It's just people who wanted to weaponize hockey for their own personal gain came in, used hockey, weaponized it for their own personal gain, and have moved on. I'm talking about politicians, both sides. Anyone who had an agenda to push came in, used hockey, went on their way. Because you notice it wasn't trending on Twitter last night. All of a sudden when they lost, it was over and it ceased to be useful to people. They moved on. So Sean, forgive me if I don't think that this is some grandiose moment for the game of hockey, especially in America. Again, when it comes down to Tuesday night, Buffalo at Anaheim, you're not going to watch. You're not.
You hit the nail right on top of the head. I can't stand the idealism. I'm sorry. I've heard this crap all my life. More on that coming up. I think you had an interesting question about a game that we both love, soccer. People thinking that it's going to become something that it's not. You need to drop it. I'm sorry. I've seen it my whole life, guys. I've heard it. And people, I thought you were a hockey fan. I thought you were a soccer fan. I am, but I'm also realistic. There are too many people that are set in their ways, okay? That's what it comes down to. It was cute. It served its purpose, and people will move on. They might come back the next international tournament, right? They might come back for the World Cup of Hockey, but you nailed it, Neil. There is not a snowball's chance in hell that they are going to seek out the Utah Hockey Club playing the Seattle Kraken at 10 o'clock on some random Tuesday night. It isn't going to happen. Accept what you are, and we'll all move on.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Lunchbox. Not going to lie, Neil, never gotten into hockey at all, but after last night, I was all locked in. And Lunchbox, that's fine. Now go watch Buffalo Anaheim and then report back to me. You're not going to do it, man. Drew, Neil, that was the biggest hockey moment in 20 years as far as getting eyeballs on the game. Well, that's not true. Stanley Cup Finals have had higher ratings than that had. I haven't seen the ratings from last night, which I would imagine are going to be huge. Yeah. But in the end, I think everybody's like Daryl. I'm a little more bought in. Okay,
shout out to Damian
fair.
Fowler. Shout out to Damian Fowler in the Woodward Sports chat. He says, "Hey guys, first time listener, awesome show. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you jumping into that super chat, Damian. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate you. We try to do a good job here. We got some pretty good personalities at Woodward Sports. Next down.
Next question of the hockey nickel package. The best player in the world is McDavid. There isn't even an argument now. I mean, was there an argument?
There were people. I can't tell you how many times I've had the conversation with people, and normally this is where I do go snob. I go, stop it. Like, really, that's what it comes down to. Connor McDavid is the best player in the world, period. End of story. I don't want to hear about McKinnon. Fantastic player. I don't want to hear about Makar. I don't want to hear about the impact that a puck-rushing defenseman has on the game today. He does. Connor McDavid is Flannel Sam. Trademark, one of one.
Nobody in the super chat. I was seduced, Neil. It was exciting seeing Larkin come out there. I'm in for the rest of the Red Wings season. But nobody, you're a Detroit sports fan. You're on Woodward a lot. Yeah. You tap into the Red Wings. I gotta guess you tapped into the Red Wings. That you didn't see this Four Nations tournament and say, what is this game that they're playing on this ice out there? And I'm knocked in. I don't think that's true. Nobody, respectfully, I just don't think that's true. Woodward Sports chat thread, get into
Neil,
there.
if I can for a second, you know what? This goes back to something that you just said. Yes, the Stanley Cup ratings have been really good, but I'm talking about the type of thing like, Spenny, what are you doing tonight? Nothing. You want to come over? Let's have a big barbecue. We're watching USA Canada. You know, guys don't do that during the Stanley Cup, right? They don't. It might be huge in the home market. Guys like you and me and hockey fans, we're watching it. I'm talking about that average dude. That average dude on a February. You know what? I might go out with the boys. Yeah, we're going to go to the local watering hole. We're going to go hang out at Hayes. We're going to go do this. To me, that's the difference. You know, can you wrap your arms around everybody for a rooting interest? Because, you know, think of last year's Stanley Cup final, right? People didn't give a shit about Florida and Edmonton, right? I mean, you had the star power and everything, but it's not like, yeah, man, I'm all in for the Panthers. You know, when you get that America versus Canada, when you get that Sweden versus Finland, there's a different vibe there. There just is. There's a different vibe there.
I think there's also a piece of it where the ESPN coverage and the fact that they went to ESPN and their new media deal kind of made it more mainstream and brought more like casual eyes to the game, specifically this tournament as well. And I'd say that even the boom that ESPN caused did more for the game than what just this tournament is going to do in terms of bringing publicity to the game. Because you saw it this morning, Stephen A. Smith is talking about the Four Nations on First Take. What does Stephen A. know about the Four Nations? Like, no offense to Stephen A., but he's a basketball and a football guy. I'd question how much hockey he's even watched in his life. But he's talking about, he's mainstream, one of the biggest media heads in the entire space, and he's talking about, I think that just the mainstream that ESPN is bringing it is so important for the game.
Trademark Neil Rule, I was told that moving to Versus was a great idea. That's the kind of crap that they told us. Do you remember, Neil? That's the kind of crap that Justin, you're probably too young.
No, I remember the Versus days.
We're just going to take this sport that we like to call, one of the big four, and we're going to put it on a channel that nobody knows about.
Remember, Sean,
that was real, and
changed?
then they told us it was a great idea. I mean, it was fricked up.
Remember, and then Versus changed to the Outdoor Network mid-contract. Hockey's on the Outdoor Network. I forgot about that.
Oh, it was a gosh damn
that was a clown
joke.
car.
So I think there's a lot of validity to what young Justin just said, no doubt.
For sure. Lady Gaga was named the head of Polaroid. I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about cameras?
Right.
All right, next question. Of the hockey nickel package, the Wings and Wild at 12:30 on Saturday. At least we don't have to wait that long for the playoff push to commence, correct?
No, and the game's sold out too. It's been sold out for about a week. So the playoff push starts, Sean, and we're all going to be locked in. But I've done a 180, man, from when I thought it was over and there was no chance. I expect it now, Sean. Honest to God, I expect them to make the playoffs.
It's there. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And I think for some of us last night, it was like, damn it, there are no games tomorrow. Oh, but it comes right back Saturday. So that's the thing. I've always said this about hockey fans. We're kind of a different breed. If there's a game, we'll find it. When people, it's not easy to find. I always thought that was the biggest gosh damn joke in the history of mankind. If you want to find the game, you can find it. Okay? It's 2025, okay? So if you're talking about grabbing those people that Justin was just talking about, yeah, it is in the best interest of putting it on ESPN, putting on something mainstream. But when I hear hockey fans say, it's tough to find, no, bullshit. It's the same thing when the lockout happened. I miss hockey. Well, no, you miss the NHL. You don't have to miss hockey. There are numerous OHL teams around here. There are numerous college teams around here. There are numerous high school teams around here who kept playing hockey. Neil, it pissed me off to no ends. I miss hockey. Well, you don't have to miss hockey. Sure, I miss the NHL, but there are a lot of different... Hell, go watch the Golden Grizzlies play. The Golden Grizzlies have their own hockey team. Don't give me that I miss hockey bullshit.
Sparty's back #1, baby.
Right?
Undefeated against Oakland in my career.
Right. Go watch that. You got a couple different options. Broncos, outstanding. The D1 team. You got Justin and his guys. I don't want to hear that shit.
Hey, young Justin, let me know when you get a national championship banner. All right, let me know when you get that, because Oakland has them.
Hey, we have those too. I haven't won one personally, but we're on track. 7 straight. We're rolling.
Okay. All right. All right. We're way late for the break here, Spenny.
Surprise.
Right.
I'm trying. Tell them about Les Stanford.
Les Stanford. There it is. It's the Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for $239 a month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. 0 security deposit, 0 due at signing, 0 first payment, 0 acquisition fee. Get to Les Stanford and check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford Buick GMC, LesStanford.com.
The funny thing about that
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month?
How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Neil Rule here for Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Scan the QR code on the screen right now. Use the promo code Woodward1000 when you make your first deposit. Then you can make your first bet, and if it loses, you'll get it back as a free bonus bet all the way up to $1,000. Hence the code Woodward1000. It's Caesars, man. They're one of the OGs in the sports betting game. The app is clean. It doesn't glitch out. It's easy to navigate. You can find everything that you need. All the markets are on there as well. Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy Nickel Package Friday. Spenny, how do you want to handle this, man?
We can just go over and then we'll go until 12:10 and we'll just do Jars and Mark White as the 12:10 reads.
There you go. I like it. See, production on the fly. That's the way the professionals do it, everybody. Little Lions nickel package then. Shall we get into it? Give people the football?
Yeah. I mean, they're begging for it. They're clamoring for it. So we might as well.
Let's give the people what they want.
First question of the Lions nickel package. I'm really starting to like this. This is a personal thing for me. This guy, I think, is going to be a great player, and he's going to be around with the Lions where they're drafting in the first round. How much would a linebacker in the first round freak out this fan base?
Would it?
I'll say this. There have been strides made. Wherever we're at our draft party that day, I don't think Braylon will walk out of the show. I don't think the camera will be ISO'd on me for 30 seconds with a stunned look of disbelief on my face.
That shit was hilarious.
We are to the point that, and I'm glad you asked this question, Spenny, because I want to start this public service to all the Lions fans out there. We are officially at the point. Did we reach the goal last year? No. We did not. It was Super Bowl or bust. We did not. However, this is still a good football team. And good football teams are not at a point where they are at the mercy of drafting for need. The Lions are not drafting for need. You may think they are, but they are not. And with that being said, everybody, I am team best player available. That's where I am. I have no specific target, Sean.
I love hearing you say that. One of my greatest pet peeves is when people lose their mind 28 picks into the draft. Because honest to God, Neil, I sit back and go, I don't know if you know this, and I don't want to be condescending, but did you know that there's a second round? And then it's crazy. Now, hold on. Wait, there's more. There's a third round.
No, Sean.
No. KG, listen.
You bullshitting.
Okay, you ready to have your mind blown?
Yeah.
You didn't think I was going to go here, did you?
I didn't.
There's a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round.
Ho!
Drives me out of my mind. Like, are you new to this? When did you start watching?
Yeah.
It drives me out of my mind. Neil, to your point, okay? Right now, this is off the... Can we all agree it would be great to get ourselves a big old D lineman or a big old edge, right? Right? Can we all say that?
Sure.
One or the other. I'm not going to argue with any of you, okay? Do you know how many there are in that range where the Lions are picking? Like, just a little homework. Just go do a little homework.
Yeah.
That range between 28 and 60 has so many D linemen and so many edge players that if by some chance they grab a guy because he is the BPA, Neil, I'm 1,000% with you. Now, if we get to the 7th round and you didn't address that, all bets are off. But, Neil, I have no problem with BPA. I don't. I have no problem with BPA.
That's my point. Like, Jihad Campbell, this guy is going to be a fucking freak in the NFL. He's going to be a game breaker. You look, he fits all of the Brad Holmes, like, salivation chart grades. Like, he went to Alabama. He's a freak. He flies around the field. He can do multiple different things. He can rush the passer as well as defend on the run, as well as guard in pass coverage. He's going to freak out everybody at the combine. His RAS scores are going to be off the charts. He's going to be right around there at 28. And I think the defensive ends and interior defensive linemen, you can get at 28. The drop-off from those guys to the guys that you could get at that same position in their second pick isn't that big. And I expect Jihad Campbell to be one of the best players out of this draft.
I can see it.
Second down, Spenny.
Second down, second question of the Lions Nickel Package. Is re-signing Carlton Davis a must? He was on a very strangely situated podcast. Like, it was really weird how they were sitting.
These streamers, man.
Yeah, it was really weird how they were sitting in the podcast. But he was glowing about Dan Campbell, saying he's one of his favorite coach he's ever played for, and just talking about how he does things and how much he loves that man. So, is bringing back Carlton Davis a must for this team?
You got 20 more million.
You tend to
Neil.
think so. What's that?
I say you got 20 more million. Where are you putting it? I feel like it's mandatory now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of leaning that way. I mean, am I gonna? It all comes down to the numbers game, man. It just does, and I know that's not very hot takey, or that's not probably what the people want to hear. But again, is he gonna work with it? Because I do think that you have a group of guys that want to be around each other and that want to be a part of that group. And Carlton Davis, all these guys, it's podcast season for NFL guys. And they're all over the place right now. I do like the vibes, but yeah, a must sign, I don't know about that. I'm not at all costs like a Myles Garrett trade situation a lot of people are with. But with that being said, he's pretty up there in terms of importance.
Well, and that's another thing. I mean, Neil, we've come to the day and age in the National Football League where I don't think people are shocked at this one anymore. You go collect cornerbacks. They'll get a cornerback. You know it. I know it. Maybe multiple. You never know how that works itself out. And I think he'll be back. I think being the key and operative word. But again, this is a credit line type of thing. I'll go ahead and take a big leap of faith with Brad on a situation like that.
And this is why you should be happy. Go ahead, Neil. My bad.
Just for reference sake, Spot Track has him at a market value of about $14 million per year. They project him 3 years, $41.5 million.
Yeah, but no, this is why you should be happy that he is going on podcast speaking so glowingly of a Dan Campbell. That means he loves the situation here, and you just never know. The negotiation process, he might be able to give a little bit because he likes the situation, because he likes the people that he plays with, and I think it could go a long way. He might be able to look out for you on the back end, if you catch my drift. So.
No doubt. Next down.
And happy birthday to Alan Trammell. Alan Trammell's birthday.
Hey.
Legend.
So happy birthday to the legend Alan Trammell. Next question for the Lions. Will this be a top 5 offense next year? I know everybody's scared because Ben Johnson left.
Top 5's aggressive. Again, sorry if I don't think that a guy's going to show up on day one of the job and be running at optimum efficiency. There is going to be a feeling out. They're just, Sean, don't do this, all right? I see the look on your face. Don't do this to me, okay? Nobody walks in and hits the ground running at day one of a new job. They don't. And I'm not saying they suck. I'm not saying they stink. In the end, like, Jared Goff's numbers will be about what Jared Goff's numbers have proven to be over the last couple of seasons. In the end, people will get around where they are, but it might take a second to get. Is that fair, Sean? Am I aligned?
That's why I'm giving you the look. Because as sure as we're sitting here, what is it? So February 21st. Is that today? I just want to make sure I get the date right. Okay.
Yes.
Correct.
All right. We are all going to be sitting in this room in late September being bombed by people talking about what the hell happened to the Lions offense. Now we see what Ben Johnson did. Neil Rule, you're a ghoul. I mean, all that, we're going to go through that whole shit again. And it's like, wait. Haven't we graduated? The ultimate success or failure with the Detroit Lions is not going to be what happens in the third fucking week of September. It's going to be, where is this at in January? And yes, into February. So it might take a little bit longer to get going, but when you have the weaponry that they have, those weapons are going to get going.
I don't think it's crazy to think they can be top 5 again, though, because the coaches aren't on the field, the players are, and we are loaded on offense. We have all the horses in the barn. You got top 10 people at receiver, quarterback, running back, so I don't see much of a drop-off. Now, it could happen, but I'm not arguing that they could be top 5 again.
Eventually, but I think and Neil, you tell me if I'm wrong, I think what you're sending off, the vibe you're sending off is it's going to take time to build to that crescendo. You know, that there is some newness here. There is some familiarity that needs to be established. So eventually we'll get there. I just don't think it's going to happen right away. I don't think there's anything wrong with you saying that, Neil.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure about that because I don't want to come off as a hater.
Fuck that. This is a top 3 offense in the NFL next year. John Morton will hit the ground running because he's been there. He knows it. He was in the room with Ben Johnson, with Jared Goff, when the play sheets were being written, when the scribes of this offense were being etched into the side of Ford Field. John Morton was there, and he did hit the ground running. His only 1 year in the New York Jets system as the offensive coordinator, where he was being sabotaged because he wasn't allowed to build his staff. Those were guys that wanted that job, and they were all mad he got it. He went in there, career best yards, touchdowns for multiple different guys. Jermaine Kearse, Robbie Anderson, Josh McCown, fucking Bilal Powell. He had those guys putting up career years. What's he going to do with Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, James Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Pettis? Top 3 offense.
Talk your shit, Speed.
So right away, then, Spenny? Right away?
Right away.
First game, we're 48.
First game, 25 plus.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't try and come in and change the fucking wheel, the wheel of this team is running the football. You have a great backfield, great offensive line. You have a quarterback that can complete any pass on the field. Don't come here trying to fucking, change what's already working.
They might not be a top 5 offense in the history of the NFL like they were last year, but they'll be a top 3 offense in the league next year.
Okay, there it is. Hey, Spenny, there it is. Yeah, okay. You knew. Spenny knew exactly where we're going with that. Next down.
All right, next down, next question of the Lions nickel package. Over under 19.5 sacks for Aiden Hutchinson next season.
Sean, that's aggressive.
You got that right. It's aggressive, and we're going over. Hutch comeback player of the year. Give me 20 even.
Hutch deploy, baby. Let's go.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sean, I got to hear your take. I feel like that's aggressive to expect.
Very.
I'm not going there. Under.
I know I'm a hater, right? I'm sorry.
You
Detroit,
might be, Neil.
I'm sorry. I'm a hater.
Yeah, no, he would. He could have hit 20 maybe if he had stayed healthy.
25 this year.
God damn. Yeah, no, I'm good. We got.
Do you know what I want? I honest to God, I hope that he gets under. I hope and I pray he gets under. And I'm serious. You know why? Because I want people to focus on him and unleash the guys around him. That's what I want. I want people to be so uber focused, like we saw with Ndamukong Suh. I want people to be so uber focused on him that all of a sudden a Cliff Averill shows himself. You know what I mean? Neil, that's what I want that more than anything.
Spenny, can I do this one? I'm going to do this one like you, Spenny. Okay. Jonesy says the under because Myles Garrett will get 22.
Hell yeah!
Yeah!
Hell yeah! Oh, hell
yeah! Sean, you okay?
You all right, Sean?
All of a sudden, the volume went out. I apologize. I tried to keep it off the air, but the volume went out, so I apologize for that. That little technical difficulties with the headphones, Neil. So.
No, you're fine. We'll go to the next one. What is Myles Garrett's worst landing spot? What situation would scare you the most?
For me, him going to Chicago. For real, him going to Chicago would scare me a lot. And it just because what if Ben Johnson touches the left shoulder of Caleb Williams? What if he does it? What if he lays his hands upon Caleb Williams and touches his left shoulder, and then all of a sudden Caleb Williams, again,
that's Neil's greatest nightmare. Caleb Williams being good.
And then not only that, I'm saying that to kind of get a couple of ha-has and he-he's, but what if he ends up in Chicago? Because I feel like Chicago has the most ground to cover in order to be like a challenger in this division, because we saw Minnesota, be good on paper last year. Everybody's always fearful of Jordan Love. And I think if you put Myles Garrett in that mix in Chicago, that he's just another piece that they'll have. They've already spent a ton of money on their defense. That does scare me to some degree. I'm not going to lie. It scares me to some degree.
Neil, I don't blame you because they got a GM that's willing to spend the money and probably trade the picks. He is not afraid to do that. So,
Sean, what's your worst landing spot for Myles Garrett?
Well, fuck the Bears, but let me get that. I just feels good coming off my chest. Gosh, that's a tough one to say. Honestly, that's a tough one to say because I'm at the point where I've convinced myself that he's coming here, and I don't know if that's good news. Honestly, this is where
I'm with you, Sean.
No, yeah. I usually call out others for being slaps and thinking that Neil, honestly, I've convinced myself he's coming here, and I'm not afraid to throw the 2 first rounders at him. I'm not. I still think our brains have been so beaten down over the course of our lifetimes that you hear 2 first rounders and we go, gasp, and you forget that it's pick 30 and pick 32 and pick 29, whatever the case may be in that area. So I've convinced myself. I would hate for him to go to one of our, I guess, the teams that are standing in our way yet.
NFC
because
North.
Yeah, there's a few teams that are standing in our way. Not so much out of the NFC North though. All jokes aside, I think there are a few teams in the NFC proper that are standing in our way, and that would hurt. That would hurt my soul. That would hurt my soul.
No, go ahead, Spain.
I was just because that's what it is for me. It is by far, no doubt in my mind, the Philadelphia Eagles are the scariest situation for him, and they would fuck you. Howie Roseman's a fucking wizard. He would do something to make that work and to get that to happen. And I think that Brad Holmes, that would be worse than him missing out on Myles Garrett would be if he goes to the Eagles. Brad Holmes cannot allow that to happen. He has to tell Cleveland after he gets off the phone with them, if that motherfucker Howie Roseman calls you and you're making a deal with him, whatever he's going to give you, I will beat that. So make sure after you get off the phone with Howie Roseman, if you're going to trade him Myles Garrett, call me and I'll give you a better deal. He cannot allow that to happen.
I'm glad you guys are picking up what I'm feeding up because my greatest fear is to be sitting there on the NFC Championship Sunday watching Myles Garrett light us up.
Right.
Like that might be it.
Because mine is the Commanders. I'm in the boat with y'all. If y'all give a young upstart team who has already beaten us, who we may see in the future in the playoffs, y'all give them a Myles Garrett, I wouldn't like that at all because I feel like that'd come back to bite us.
Somebody in the chat, by the way, asked a question. Neil, what do the Eagles look like? It comes from James. What cap space do the Eagles have? They're about middle of the road. I think they're 12th in available cap space. Something crazy. 12.5 million or something like that.
He's been awesome.
13.5 million in cap space.
Neil, he's been awesome. I mean, give that guy his flowers.
He's the best GM in sports.
Like, really, he's been unbelievable.
No, absolutely. No, you guys are 100% right. And they got moves they can make too to get more. Like they could cut Slay and get more cap space as well.
And they got the 23 million coming in.
Yep. So absolutely.
Yeah, you cannot
Steve
allow that to
O'Baby,
happen.
Neil, I think the worst case scenario would be for Myles Garrett to go to the Commanders. Yeah, that would suck too. That would definitely suck too.
I think Kansas City, that wouldn't be the worst case scenario for the Lions, but that would be the worst case scenario for NFL fans. If he goes to Kansas City and say, oh, well, there's another Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes. Like, fuck that, dude.
Spenny, tell him about Jars.
Jars Cannabis, of course, I can tell you this weekend, they're going to have the Rail Jam at Jars Cannabis. Skiers and snowboarders get ready to send it on a 14-foot drop-in ramp with 3 custom features at the brand new Jars Utica location parking lot. This Saturday from 1 to 5 p.m., jam-style competition with 3 guest pros, $8,000 in cash prizes up for grabs. Go to jarscannabis.com/Jars Rail Jam to sign up. Open to skiers and snowboarders 21 years old or plus. Darren McCarty and Stick will be doing a specialty broadcast from 2 to 4 p.m. Spectators are also welcome. The event is free to attend with free food with a Jars purchase, live DJs, and giveaways. Drop in and cash out at the Jars Rail Jam. Jars Cannabis.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Mark White. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, Mark White should be your first choice. You can save up to $5,000. Your closing costs, that's right, I said $5,000. Visit him at markwhitesales.com or call him at 248-290-8242. markwhitesales.com.
Back at it, hour number 2 of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean. Sean back in the Birmingham studios. I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Big college basketball night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State going at
Go
it.
Blue.
That's one. Somebody's weekend's about to get even worse. So not only you have USA losing, Hooters declaring bankruptcy. Either Michigan or Michigan State basketball fans are going to be crushed. I'll be on the radio call for the Golden Grizzlies and Purdue Fort Wayne tonight as well. Spencer Raxter, KG, Young Justin in the building as well. All of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into there. Get your thoughts out there. KG, don't forget, people talking about it. Top 5 next week in honor of Black History Month. Quote, top 5 black guys.
Yeah,
so don't forget that on Wednesday.
You never forget.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tap in. I need to see that.
No, you need to watch it, Sean,
that
for
is
sure.
Outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's keep it pigskin, everybody. The NFL nickel package. Spencer Raxter, if you would.
First question of the NFL nickel package. Will Matthew Stafford be playing for the Rams next season?
Yes, right? Like, I keep hearing this talk about they're going to move him and stuff. Like, Sean McVay, I can't understand how they would be in the business of moving Matt Stafford. They won the division last year. People forget they had the football inside the red zone at the end of that Eagles game with a chance to win it. People forget that, man.
But Neil,
they're not.
Why does this surprise you? Sean McVay, he got rid of Goff. I can see them getting rid of Stafford because they haven't been able to get where they want to get in the last few years, and he's aging. He wants to keep this train rolling. I can absolutely see the Rams doing that. It's in their track record.
Yeah, but KG, if you do that, the train stops rolling.
Yeah,
the train pulls into the station and it doesn't leave.
I'm gonna let Sean go, but I do got an outside thing that I think could happen.
No, go first. Go first.
To be honest with y'all, and you know I hate this man, I can absolutely see the LA Rams going all in on Aaron Rodgers. I really could. If they were to get rid of Stafford, you go get Aaron Rodgers to pair with Sean McVay for 1 or 2 years, they might try and make some shit happen. I'm just throwing that out there. I've just been thinking about that.
Neil's about to have a field day with that one.
No, for real. And you know I hate him. You know I hate him.
But there's no way in hell. Look at me.
I'm just saying.
There's no way in hell that would work. Those two that wouldn't work.
I don't think it would work either, but
no
I wouldn't put them past it.
Wait a minute, Sean.
Oh, no.
You're going
Here
to
we
tell
go.
me that it didn't work for the Jets? You're going to tell me that?
There is no way that'll work. Aaron, it is.
I can see it.
It
Nope.
is
They said it
not in
last
his
season.
DNA to take a step back and not think that he's the smartest man in the room anymore. It's not in his DNA. And he was able to do that in previous spots. He's not going to play that game with McVay because ask Sean McVay, he's the smartest man in the room. So I think it would be I'm not poo-pooing your idea.
Yeah.
But
if they get rid of Stafford, watch. They might go all in on him for a year and then draft a quarterback and see
They'd
where the
go
chips
all in
fall.
on Sam Darnold before they went all in on Aaron Rodgers.
I agree.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Eric Wall, Hooters sucks. Greg 2025, Hooters really? I'll put those chicken wings up against anybody else's chicken wing, Sean. I'm sorry.
That's pretty good.
I will. You can
And
slander
tits.
Hooters.
What are we
the
talking
business
about?
plan.
That's the problem, though.
It's the tits.
They start hiring skinny hoes, and they ain't got no jugs, and that's your downfall right there.
That's a damn shame. You go to Hooter for the tits.
Their Cajun wings
And the ass.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
their
and ass
Cajun
too, yeah.
wings, Neil. I'll put them up against anybody's. And those are
Thank
not
you.
words. Those are not words that I use lightly. I'll put now. Listen again. You know me. Like our spot in Detroit. Like honestly, I absolutely love that au natural wing. I don't know what it is they do. Maybe they mix a little crack in there, but their Cajun wings were solid.
I like nice boobs.
Well said. Well said by everybody. People, stop slandering Hooters. There was a time in this country where Hooters was great. Never forget that.
Top
All right,
tier.
next down.
All right, next down. Next question of the NFL Nickel Package. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, who will play quarterback for the Jets next season?
I think that they're just going to roll the Tyrod. Remember, too, Sean, they have Jordan Travis on that roster. Remember the Florida State quarterback
I'll never
You
forget.
remember.
I'll never forget.
Yeah, you'll never forget. No, I think, and I've always liked Tyrod Taylor. For real. I always have. Like, he's never going to be like your starter and carry you to a Super Bowl. But if you're in a bad spot, you can do worse than Tyrod Taylor.
100%.
All right, can I bring up Justin's Sam Darnold? Right? Hey, let's come back. It didn't work the first time. Let's run her back. Let's see what happens now. Somebody's going to do it with Sam Darnold. We can laugh and poke fun.
they
and
are.
Grab his little cheeks as much as we want.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to do it with Sam Darnold. They're going to be disappointed eventually, but somebody's going to do it with Sam Darnold.
But it's the same thing with Tyrod Taylor. You can do a lot worse than Sam Darnold out there. Like, Sam Darnold is still a top 20 quarterback in the NFL. Like, you're still not at the bottom tier of NFL quarterbacks. He can be competent in a good system. I just don't think that he has the chops to go back into a market like New York, deal with the media again, the way that he was ripped apart to shreds week after week for not improving and not having this development that you expected from him. Then he leaves, goes to the Vikings. What are the questions you think that are, as soon as he comes back, his introductory press conference, one of those New York asshole media is going to be like, oh, so where was this when you were on the Jets the first time? And that's going to get to him. I think he's going to go to some place where he can have some mental clarity, a lot like Baker Mayfield to Tampa.
Look at Geno Smith, though. I think Geno Smith is a perfect guy to what you were just talking about, Neil. The Tyrod Taylors. People are going to give guys like that a chance because of the success of Geno Smith. Like, honestly, and the same thing. Am I putting Geno Smith on a pedestal? Absolutely not. Except when that mother plays us. I was joking he was Geno Mahomes when he plays us. Look at his numbers. But you're going to continue to see guys like that get a shot. Jacoby Brissett, he's no good. Like, seriously, let's be honest. He's no good. But you're going to give guys like that an opportunity. And if a guy catches fire and becomes the man, as Geno Smith has in Seattle, that's why you're going to see guys like that continue to get that said opportunity.
Everybody just be prepared because Sam Darnold is going to make over $40 million a year to play quarterback.
No question in my mind.
It's happening.
Set
you
your
don't
watch
have a
to it.
choice in the matter.
Yep. Set your watch to
it is happening. There's nothing you can do about it. At a minimum, he'll be franchise tagged by the Vikings and make almost $42 million next year. So mentally prepare yourself, everybody. Next down.
God, I hope the Vikings sign him. That would be awesome. All right, next question for the NFL Nickel Package. Bengals are expected to franchise tag T. Higgins again. He's only played 54% of snaps the last 2 seasons, but Joe Burrow said you can't let a guy like that out of the building. What do you do?
I was stunned when I saw that he only played 54% of the snaps the last 2 years. And it's true. And I would contend that this T. Higgins decision, because look, the Joe Burrow decision's not a decision, right? The decision to give him the contract, that's a no-brainer. Jamar Chase is a no-brainer. This decision, however, will dictate the fate of the Bengals franchise. Because in a roundabout fashion, Sean, you got room for about 3 of these guys on an NFL roster. Give or take, you got room for about 3 of these guys. The Chiefs have it with Mahomes and Chris Jones, and they've kind of spread some money in the secondary as well. We've seen it with the Lions. They got Goff, Sewell, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. They're going to have to find a way to make it work with Aiden Hutchinson also. But that seems to be about the number. You get 3 to 4 of these guys. And what they do with T. Higgins will determine the fate of their franchise, Sean.
And Neil, that it's funny you say 3 or 4 because I think you have to include Trey Hendrickson in that conversation as well. I mean, remember all the smoke that Trey Hendrickson might be available, which I didn't believe for a second. And besides, as you well know, you can never bury Cincinnati. They're going to have another back bowl this year. You know it. There's going to be a game later in the season. You and I are going to be laughing, going, "Oh, everybody's going to proclaim, oh golly gee, they just missed it." But to your point, yeah. There are some huge decisions coming up. Not only the big 3 that you mentioned, but I think you have to mention a pretty damn good defensive end in Trey Hendrickson in that conversation. So this Cincinnati Bengal dynasty that never was might never be. Like, honestly, this is a big tell in regards to where the Cincinnati Bengals are going in the next decade.
Matthew Kruger in the chat. We overpaid for Goff. Matthew, were you just listening when I told you that at a minimum, Sam Darnold's going to be around $42 million to play quarterback in this league? Were you watching the show yesterday or the day before when I brought up the fact that the 49ers are going to have to pay Brock Purdy a number that starts around 55, if not north of that?
Neil.
Jared Goff, once again, it's how it's going to go, everybody. Sean, you're sitting there. You got that look on your face. You know it. I know it. And we'll see an iteration of this in the NFL draft, Sean. When everyone starts getting desperate for these
Neil,
quarterbacks.
Matt Kruger is just, he's set in his ways. I wouldn't even bother.
That is another, I am not being funny to you, Matt, or to anybody else, but this is another are you new to the National Football League moment for me. It is when these contracts, do you remember when people absolutely lost their shit when Matthew Stafford was for, like, what was it? A month?
Yeah,
the highest paid player. And it's just like, do you understand that I'm not talking 5 years from now. I'm talking a year from now. People are going to go blow by him. Blow by him, especially in a league where, correct me if I'm wrong, the cap is going to go up about, what, 23 million?
Yeah.
Like, you guys, like, just a little time, you'll see where these contracts rank.
Spinny got the breaking news face.
Yeah, I got some breaking news here. Per the New York Post, Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer quit sex trafficking case, quote unquote, under no circumstances can I continue.
Damn. Oh, it's bad.
Diddy's gone.
It's bad.
He's gone.
It's bad for him.
Your lawyer quit on you?
Damn, man.
R.I.P. the diddler.
That's all right. Kanye will pay for him a new lawyer.
The lawyer tapped out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Neil, can I finish that though? Do you guys remember? And this is a true story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because do you guys remember who set the NFL quarterback market that particular year?
Matt Ryan. Was it Matt Ryan?
No, it was Derek fucking Carr.
Derek
Oh,
Carr,
yeah.
It was Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Derek Carr set the NFL quarterback. I mean, that was Matthew Stafford's agent was sitting back on, we'll know. Let's see what Derek Carr does. We'll know. I mean, that's what, and he got that monster contract from the Raiders. And then if you're Matthew Stafford's agent, you kind of waltz into that office and you go, do you see what Derek Carr just got? Mm-hmm. Like, are you kidding me? So what are you going to give my client? And then Aaron Rodgers saw what Matthew Stafford did and waltzed right into little Cheeseland and said, That guy hasn't won dick. What are you going to do for me? I mean, that's Neil. I think you do as good a job as anybody explaining some of that business side. That is, you guys, it's the market. And the market is going to keep going up when you're talking about the quarterback position in the National Football League.
Spenny, let's just skip to fifth down and get this one rolling. We can come back and do Tigers.
All right, fifth down. Trevor Lawrence shut down rumors of a trade to Pittsburgh, saying he had no interest in leaving Jacksonville. Should he go somewhere else?
No.
Why?
Stay there forever.
Oh,
Forever.
Stay there forever.
And ever.
Because, Trevor, no one's going to question you there. Everyone's just going to look at the long hair and say, man, you were good. I remember a time when you were good. And no one's going to remember the fact that you stink. Like, no one's going to – and it's time. Sean, it is time. Guys, here's a heart-to-heart with everybody, okay? Trevor Lawrence stinks. Period, end of story. He stinks.
He does.
It's over.
He's buns.
He stinks. It's over. Next Tuesday, I'm putting him in the coffin. There's my rest in peace on Tuesday, by the way. He stinks. It's over. Trevor, don't go to a real football town. They'll destroy you there.
Oh.
Just stay and hide in plain sight in Jacksonville.
Neil, we talked about this during the season. Anthony Richardson's another thing. Like, quit giving rope. It's not happening. And we live this life. You and I are old enough to remember John Joseph Harrington. We so desperately wanted to believe that Joey Blue Skies was the answer. Nobody wanted to admit what was in front of your face every single week. It was never going to happen with that guy. It's tough to admit. And I was a guy, I liked Trevor Lawrence. I mean, think back, though, Neil, to when he was a freshman at Clemson. Noted people were saying he would be the number one pick in the draft, and he might be the greatest NFL prospect ever. I mean, that all that hyperbole shit. To go from that point to here, it's over. It's never going to happen.
That's it. Real quick before we cut to the break, Robert Colosia, fun lawyer fact. The only reason a New York criminal lawyer drops out of a case is because the money ran out. It's probably frozen. FYI, I've done criminal law continuously since I passed the bar in 1994. So he's our legal insider.
Thank you,
shout
Mr.
out.
Appreciate you.
Yep. We have Brandon Katz as a legal fact checker as well. So we'll wait for Brandon Katz to sign off on that. Spenny, you want to tell him about Dr. Pierce, or am I telling him about Dr. Pierce?
Let's see who I put on the read. I'll tell him about Dr. Pierce.
All right.
Dr. Jeff Pierce. Listen, come on. Tuesdays on Big D Energy. Thursdays on Ermanni and Edwards. He's powered by Michigan Sports' Spine and Amon-Ra of Southfield. He kept DMAC playing. If he could keep DMAC in the game, he can keep you in the game. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to help you put yourself in the best shape to play. Dr. Pierce, make sure you tap in. Call him at 248-426-9944 or go to MichiganSportsInSpine.com. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce, our injury insider.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network. Enough Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Sean Belesian, Spencer Raxter, KG in the building, Young Justin as well. All of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Jump into there if you want to skip the line in the chat. You can take advantage of the super chat. We've been reading those all show long as well. But having a lot of fun. Andrew Smith in the chat. So Diddy's got no dollars. Hurricane, my first thought too. The dollars are gone for Diddy. A little bit of Spencer Raxter breaking news.
How on earth? I will never understand it, Neil. When I hear these stories, I'm sorry. You're not talking, this isn't about, this isn't the token athlete, okay, that got the $7 million and blew it because he gave the friends and family plan, okay?
Right.
You're Diddy.
Yeah.
Billions with a B. Like, seriously? Wow.
He was having too much fun.
Jeez. By the way, I'm really mad at KG, Neil.
I'm so sorry.
I've been fighting this all day, and I can't fight it no longer because the gosh damn flavor still lingers. I don't care what anybody says. I will fight you on that street corner if you try to deny Coney Island breakfast.
Yeah,
they are unbelievable. You can't put a price tag on them. Right, exactly. Where and when? Where and when? I'm ready. Where and when? You let me know. I'll drive to you. I will take a road game if you try to deny. He came in with that beautiful styrofoam box and just sat there and demolished one of those breakfasts.
Yeah.
And the smell's still here.
I made some great breakfasts in my day.
That styrofoam container, it makes
something
food
about
better.
It's
magical.
I used to be slinging omelets. Oh man,
like those, the 1880s guy.
Put them on.
Put them up.
It's a 40-round fight. It goes on for 5 hours.
Gentlemen, bare knuckle.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Rob Coddington, happy Bourbon Friday, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Rob, I'm in Fort Wayne, so I'm on work. But we'll reconvene the Bourbon Friday next Friday.
Goddamn right we will.
Don't worry your pretty little head about that.
You got me in here sober today, Neil. I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm with
Jim
you.
Jim 3 in the chat. Are you saying lawyers don't have morals? No, I'm saying that the client ran out of money. That's what I'm saying.
Or the case is an uphill battle, and he was like, yeah, nah.
Super chat, Mac Walker Jr. Question, do you guys believe when healthy, our defensive line is good enough to win a Super Bowl? Not a good season or a playoff run, but a Super Bowl. Sean, I'll deflect that to you. I would say yes.
Yes.
What say you?
Yes, but I'm going to say it again. There's not, you add another piece in there, and I think there's another layer. I mean, we see it every single year, and yet, Neil, we constantly have to have this conversation. You know what? What can you do to their quarterback? What can you do to their defense? And it starts at the line of scrimmage every single gosh damn year. It is incredible. It is one of the most misunderstood things in the world. We've got ourselves one of the top offensive lines, okay? Now, with the pieces that we have, let's go next level. Go get a Garrett. Go get a Green for Marshall. Go get one of these, the guys from A&M. A&M has 3 guys on their line, defensive line and end. I'd rather go get the vet who's already established himself in Myles Garrett, but yes, it's good enough now. Screw it. Let's make it unbelievable and historic.
All right, time for the Tigers' first spring training game tomorrow against the Philadelphia Phillies. Fired up for it. Spenny, let's do the Tigers nickel package.
First question, Pacoda projected 79 wins and a 4th place finish for the Tigers. Are you taking over 79?
That seems too easy. Sean? What am I walking into? I think that's a given. 80 wins plus is a given. What am I walking into?
Okay, Neil.
No, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of how they tried to sneak us in last year with the Pistons before the injuries happened. If you remember, what was that, like 27.5 or something? I was like, oh, they're giving away free money. I'll take some free money. I'm with you. That almost tells me, is there something that I don't know? Look, I'm going to say it again. Nobody wants to hear it. I shut my mouth while it was happening. It was a near act of God that what happened last year happened. It was a miracle, okay? Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to happen that way. So is this Pacoda basically saying, okay, now it's going to come back down to the mean? I'd be terrified. I don't know if I'd touch it. I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I'd touch it.
But Sean, you got to remember too, and KG and everybody, something that I underestimated. When the Chicago White Sox are in your division, you start with 12 wins.
Yeah, pretty much.
You start with 12 wins.
Pretty much. And Neil, I mean, you done came a long way from last year. Last year you started with 74. I had to make you change it to 78. I had 84 last year. To me, this is an easy over. I still have questions whether they can compete for the Central. That's a different conversation, but they should absolutely. If you can't meet what you did last year at the very least, then what are we talking about here?
Neil, that's why, and I took some shit last week for it. What you just said is exactly why. Like, we want to put the Central Division on a pedestal that it doesn't belong because the Chicago White Sox were historically bad. Okay, our division wasn't that good. We had a free extra 12 wins. 12. Seriously, think about that. Now, there's no possible way the White Sox can be as bad as they were last year, right?
And the Twins, you got to keep they not trying to spin. They still trying to tank a little bit. So
it's what's interesting about it too is, do you know who Pacoda says is going to win the division? The Twins.
That's crazy.
Pacoda's been pretty good. If you follow that stuff, I know I'm probably speaking geek to a lot of the elites out there, but Pacoda's been pretty good.
Over the Guardians and the Royals, though?
Yes.
That's insane.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah, the three playoff teams were second, third, and fourth, according to the Pacoda simulations.
According to Caesars Sportsbook, the Tigers are at 83 wins, over/under. Just to put that out there.
That sounds about more. Yeah,
right.
That sounds more realistic. I mean, you look at it too. The Twins and the Royals did nothing. Like, we didn't do a lot. They did even less. Yeah. So there you have that.
Gleyber Torres has a beard now.
Right.
And the Indians have a bullpen. Right. Really, I mean that's
yeah. And the Royals didn't really have to do anything. They're just growing their young talent at this point. So yeah.
And Caesars projects the Tigers to finish second behind the Twins as well.
There's a lot of twin love. I told you guys. There's a lot of twin love.
Twins is crazy. All right, next question. Is Dingler going to take a big step this year, yes or no?
I forgot he was on the team. I ain't gonna lie.
I think you have to define a big step. I was actually talking about this with one of my Oakland buddies that's a big Tigers fan. We were talking about it this morning at breakfast, and he said, that depends on your definition of a big step. If he, is more featured, that is a big step for him, if that makes any sense. Like, the numbers might not pop out at you, but if he has a lot of usage, that is a big step.
The one thing about Dingler, if you follow his career, is it takes him a little bit of time to get going at the next level. But then once he gets going, he's been pretty damn good. I mean, take a look at what he did at Toledo. It took him a little while, but then what was it, 17 homers in 71 games? I think that was the number off the top of my head. I'll take that. Obviously 17 and 71, but pants would be off, okay? But there are limitations with Jake Rogers. I know we all love him.
Come on, Shy.
I know he's
Jake Rogers' career year loading.
I know he's wacky and zany. I know he's the best at framing and everything.
Walrus, baby. Come on.
But
he does look like a walrus.
There are limitations to what that guy's going to do at the plate. I'm hoping that you get the defense and all the intangibles from Rogers, and then you get a little bit of the rake that Jake doesn't have going to Dingler.
He has had some big hits, though.
Knock it off!
You got to give him credit.
Yeah, don't
He's
talk
had
about
some clutch
the Walrus,
hits,
man.
I think Dingler, as a backup for Jake Rogers, will just improve. Like you said, he's going to get more looks. He's going to get more opportunity.
That's all I'm asking for.
And I think he'll make the most of it.
That's all I'm asking for.
Yep. All right, next
All right, fair enough.
question
Hands down.
of the Tigers. Tigers nickel package. Is Jack Flaherty on the Tigers the last day of the season?
Yeah.
No.
You think they're going to trade him
Really?
again?
I think they're going to do it again.
Yes, they're going to flip it again. I'm with you.
I think they're going to do it again.
If this turns out the way that I haven't talked to you guys yet. We're not at, we need to make our prediction time yet. But if I'm picking up what I think I'm picking up, we think the Tigers are going to fall just short this year, right?
Yep.
Okay? Now, mind you, they sold in a year that they found a way to get into the playoff. But if they're kind of flailing, would I turn around and try to get another package for Jack Flaherty?
Absolutely.
You're damn right I would.
Absolutely. I think they will too. I think he's going to
Neil?
If they trade him back-to-back years.
No, they're gonna end up keeping them because I don't think that they'll be as I don't think they'll be as bad as they were during the middle of the season next year. So and I think too, with what happened last year, it's human nature to, even if they are in a bad spot, to say, man, we can come out of this. Now, granted, it took a historic collapse by Minnesota and a historic run by us. Like, that was a two-leg parlay that you had to hit. But still, no, I don't think they'll run that again. I don't think they will.
Yeah, he wants to be here. I mean, they gave him an option for year 2 as well. So
I think we're buyers at the deadline, like legitimately.
Well, boy, you know Chris. He'll take care of things. Chris has got this.
Yeah,
Don't you worry.
He'll definitely.
Don't you
Whatever
worry.
it takes, right?
Don't
All
you
right,
worry.
Speaking of Chris, how much confidence do you have in Jace Young at third?
Little Chris knocking over them garbage cans.
Defensively,
Zero defensively.
that's little Chris.
that's a goated drop. I'm not going to lie to you. Both of those drops are goated.
Defensively, I have questions. I know, and look, I know that we're programmed. You can't have questions of the prospects. It is a top farm system in Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
Sean, I just think that, and while it won't happen, here's the thing about defense. I don't know why we ignore it as a fan base, and it's not. It doesn't happen in the bottom of the ninth that loses you the game, but it changes games. Bad defense changes games. They got to get better defensively at that spot. They have to.
It's funny that you say that. I don't know why this franchise ignores defense. I don't. This infield could be horrific. It really, truly could be horrific. I pray. This is one of my biggest prayers, okay? And again, I know I can't throw slander towards certain Tigers. I hope and pray that Jace is everything that we think he is, because the idea of going through this season with Matt Vierling predominantly at third base makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, you need a lot of stuff to happen. You need Trey Sweeney to take a step. You got to hope that Gleyber Torres doesn't sell you. You don't got to deal with Torque every day, but even still, Colt keeps playing first for the first time. They got a lot of questions to answer, but I think they'll roll into the season as is. Maybe at the trade deadline, they'll try and make a move for third.
DNC ENT in the chat. Flaherty is to Scott Harris what Kevin Knox is to Troy Weaver. So
Kevin Knox is the GOAT.
Oh, shit.
Next up.
Kevin Knox is the GOAT.
That's crazy.
Next question. MLB Tonight called AJ the best manager in the game. Does anybody want to argue?
I've been saying that for a long time, man, and he still catches slander to this day. There are people in this town that don't think he's very good. They'll be on the YouTube chat thread in about 20 seconds. He's the best manager. I'll back it up by saying this, Sean. If the Tigers didn't have A.J. Hinch last year doesn't happen. Period. End of story.
No doubt about. And by the way, while I'm at it, I was watching it the other night with my kid. That MLB show is unbelievable. That MLB Tonight show is unbelievable. It's not pants around your ankles unbelievable, but they were mid thigh. I mean, magically the pants just kind of came down. I mean, that's really what it was. But I mean, hearing those guys go around the league, and do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the shit that we do here. Where we'll have some topics, but then Neil, you'll throw something out there. KG, you'll throw. Dudes were just having conversation, and the reason it came up is somebody said, "So who do you think the best manager in baseball is?" And I forget which dude it was, but he said without hesitation, he goes, "It's A.J. Hinch."
Yeah.
And Plesac was like, "Yeah, I really can't argue with that." And Neil, to your point, that's why I think AJ gets more love maybe nationally than he does in our own backyard. There are a lot of people that still weep and wail and gnash their teeth when you bring up AJ Hinch.
You think the national media, they gave Steven Vogt the fucking manager of the year last year, and I thought that was a travesty.
Yeah.
And I know they had a great year, but he didn't do what AJ Hinch did.
No, nobody did. It wasn't even close.
No. Oh, by the way, guys, remind me on Tuesday when DMAC comes back in, we do got to talk about the fact that Major League ESPN's dropping Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
so
I saw
there'll be
that.
no more Sunday Night Baseball. So Darren McCarty, I'm sorry, brother. We'll talk about it on Tuesday. You can cry if you want. Cry on my shoulder, my friend. All right, let's do this then. Let's take the break, come back, wrap it up with a couple. We got a Pistons one. We got a sports media one. Spenny, can we do it? Can we beat the horn and finish them, do you think?
No. Let me tell you guys about Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. 7 different flavors of wings, just great stuff for you to choose from. My personal favorite is the spicy garlic, but you can try them all and choose your favorite for yourself. Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. Tap into a Soroki's near you. Find one at Sorokis.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule here for Woodward Merch. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. The latest and greatest in all new Detroit shirt designs. Get ready for the playoff push. Pistons, Red Wings. If you want Myles Garrett in town, get the F them picture. It's all there for you. Shop.woodwardsports.com. All right. Let's try to do this, Benny. We got a Pistons nickel package. We got a sports media nickel package. Let's ride.
All right, first question of the sports media nickel package. It's no secret NBA ratings are down. In fact, they're 5% down from last season. But what if I told you NHL ratings are 11% down from last season?
Wait a minute. I was told that hockey was just saved. Your people. Sean, look at me, Sean. Look at me. Your people, Sean. Your people told me that hockey's been saved. Was I lied to?
It is the oldest bit in the history of mankind. Like Neil, you know what we need to do? We need to have like a peace meeting at like a summit. And you and I could shake hands and they'd probably give us the Nobel Peace Prize. NBA and NHL fans taking shots at each other when we both know damn well we're so far down the ladder. Like, just relax and accept what you are. Hope it gets better, but we're both redheaded stepchildren. How's that?
All right, fair. Second down, Spenny.
Second down, second question. But what if I told you NFL ratings were down 2% from last season?
They were, Sean, as a matter of fact. And I was stunned. When I saw them.
No.
They are. They are. You want to know what it is, Sean? And for the people that want to take a victory lap about the NBA, I hate the NBA, nobody watches the NBA, or the people that say NHL is a regional sport or everything.
Thank you.
Shake my hand. You know what it is? Yep.
There we go. Yes, thank you.
You know what it is? Here's what it is, everybody. TV rights have been spread out so much for all of these leagues that it's exhausting to keep up with. Me, Sean, a guy who works in sports television, I can't tell you night to night what station the game's on.
Oh, no
I
question.
don't know if the NBA game is on ESPN or TNT or Max. I don't know if the NHL game is on ESPN Plus or the NHL Network or if it's on Max as well. I don't know. It used to be Thursday night was TNT. It used to be Friday night it was ESPN. It's not like that anymore, Sean. And I'm not crying about it. I'm not, because it was always going to go this way. But with that being said, Sean, it has even affected the NFL. Yes, the mighty NFL.
It is, Neil, it is amazing because the P1s, I know for my center ice package, all I have to do is go to channel 717. And then all of a sudden, as I look at my guide, there's all the NHL games listed and everything. But when you start to screw with that, when you start to screw with the Thursday night game, how many times did you hear it from somebody who and we all have friends like this, they're kind of fans. Hey, man, did the NFL do away with the Thursday night game? And you and I hear that and we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because, like, we're all in, but for every one of us, there's 10 of somebody else who doesn't realize that you have to turn on Peacock on a Thursday night, that doesn't understand that this game is going to be on this channel on a particular night. So I guess when you think about it, Neil, it kind of makes sense based on that which you just explained.
Third down, Spenny.
Third down, third question. Speaking of NBA ratings, while down 5% from last season in total, ratings are unchanged on ESPN. NBA Christmas Day ratings were actually up 87%. The NBA is down 11% on TNT. I was told Inside the NBA was the greatest sports show ever. Was I lied to?
I got to ask the question, right? If the games are down 11% on TNT, but they're unchanged on ESPN, was I lied to, Sean? I mean, if they're so valuable and they carry so much of the NBA community, why are the ratings so far down on that network?
I'm surprised at that. No, I'm with you. There's that doesn't really make sense. I think they are entertaining. I think they are fun. It's greatest show of all time or whatever. I'm not going to go that far, but I get the point. I'm surprised. Any explanation for that, Neil?
I have none. It's baffling to me when I read that and I saw that. I was like, wow, that is unbelievable. Jake, NBA should bring back travel calls, double dribble calls, no gather step, allow more contact for foul calls. Like, people have been saying that forever about the NBA. But the bottom line is, like, it's not as bad as everybody says that it is. And, Lumberjack, every time I turn on TNT thinking there's a game on, it's Avengers Endgame again. That's fair.
That's so real.
No, that's funny.
His name's Lumberjack. Is that? It's just
Lumberjack Zach. Yep.
It's Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Lumberjack. I've traveled 500 miles to give you my seed.
Right.
Such a great.
No, it's a
fucking
classic
scene.
movie.
James in the chat. Neil, not trying to be snarky or smartass. I'm just asking a question because I respect your opinion. What's the solution? Well, the solution is that you condense the number of networks that are available to stream games. However, if you do that, you condense the amount of money that goes into your owner's pockets. So the moral of the story is, James, there is no solution. This is the way that it is now.
And it's only going to get worse. You know it, Neil. This isn't going away. It's only going to get worse. And I have a feeling that there are going to be some games that we have taken for granted our whole life that are going to end up on channels that we're going to be forced to buy. That's just the way this is going, man.
Just remember, guys, when your Sunday 1 o'clock window ends up on Netflix next year, remember this. Because it's going to happen. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to pay for Netflix and you're going to stream it. Or the alternative is you don't watch.
Right.
And
Catch highlights on YouTube.
Yeah. Right?
You guys can give me the pirate sign all you want.
No.
But it's on there buffering.
Oh, no, I'm buying. I'm going to have
We're all going to buy.
Neil, I pay for it and I still illegally stream. I need all means. I need to have all means.
All right, next down.
Next question. San Diego FC will begin play in the MLS this season. Ownership paid a $500 million expansion fee to start the club. Is MLS soccer finally gaining ground in America?
Sean, I know what you're going to say. I already know what you're going to say before you say it. I will say this, and to a degree, I agree with you, Sean. I do. But I will say this, just to give you some perspective, they just paid $500 million for an MLS team. The investment group that bought the Arizona Coyotes spent $1 billion. So, like, it's in the running, Sean. Like, it's getting up in the discussion. That's all I'm saying.
Neil, and you're right. I know I had a front row seat for Detroit Express Mania. and we got Trevor Francis from Team England to come here, and everything was going to change. That was 45 years ago.
God damn.
Do you understand that? 45 years ago. This crap has been out there for that long at least. I love the game. You love the game, okay? But I think people trying to put it on a pedestal that it doesn't belong. This goes back to what we were talking about with hockey, and I think soccer, it has to share in that same exact thing. There are people out there that were never, ever going to give the game a chance. It's never going to happen. It's not in their DNA. It's too easy to say that they flop. It's too easy to say that they're sissies. It's too easy to say that, well, you know, in America, we like Americans, right? Done in the Spenny voice.
Hell yeah.
Sorry. Neil, I'll believe it when I see it because I've heard this song and dance for 45 years. There are more kids playing soccer than any other sport. You know, all that stuff. I've heard it all. I'll believe it when I see it.
Danny G in the chat. No, Neil, everyone will just complain and say, we're not going to watch, but then turn around and give Netflix their best numbers ever. Danny G, at least you're honest about it.
100%.
James, I'm guilty. I pay for it too. You're not shamed. Like, you want to watch the games, man. That's the point of all this.
Yep.
Next down.
Next question. Did you watch the Daytona 500 at all last weekend?
I watched 4 to 5 laps of it when I went to... No, I went and sought it out. When I saw on Twitter that it was still going on, because for whatever reason the Daytona 500 goes on for about 14 hours every year when it's on, because they started, it rains, they started, it rains, they started, it rains. So I did turn it on just out of respect, not because I'm a NASCAR fan. It's probably the only NASCAR I'll seek out and watch this year, but I turned it on just because it's February, you know?
I want to invite you all over for the Belegian 4-double-lot, where I put all those socks in my dryer, and we watch the socks go around. And the one that come out first, he the winner. So no, it just doesn't. Listen, I can say that because I've had sand kicked in my face my entire lifetime as a hockey fan. If you like it, like it, okay?
Right. Yeah, right.
It does absolutely nothing for me. I've tried. I've made a concerted effort. I've sat down. Sorry, it does nothing for me. And I know that, go ahead. There's nothing you can say about the sport that I love that I haven't heard, okay? It does nothing for me. So I don't, like Neil, I don't even pretend anymore. I just I used to try to turn it on for a few minutes just to, maybe I'm missing something, and I've been out to MIS. It is a miserable thing for me. I think it's completely unwatchable.
Hey, Spinny, can you throw up the camera real quick? Chase wanted me to relay this message to you, Neil.
Raise hell, praise Dale. All right, there you go. FA. My bad, everybody. Spenny, let's kick through this Pistons one real quick.
Okay.
F1 and IndyCar are way better. That's all I'll say.
Can you see this team winning a playoff series?
Why not?
Only if they play the Knicks.
Why not?
Yeah.
No, seriously. Why? I'm not. Aren't we at that point? Haven't they earned at least that? Why not?
They're gonna be a problem for any team they face in the playoffs.
Yep.
How do you feel about
only
Malik
if they play the
Beasley?
Knicks.
How do you feel about Malik Beasley smoking weed?
Smoke more.
Do you know the percentage? Do you know the percentage of NBA players / the population that smoke it?
Probably high 90s.
He's the best shooter in the league.
It's 2025. Like drop it. Like seriously. I know we always used to pretend like that back in the 90s when every one of us were lighting up and you can't do that.
Fucking hippies.
Come on, relax.
Yeah, fuck you hippies.
Can Asar Thompson keep up this level of play?
What was that?
Can Asar Thompson keep up this level of play?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. What if this is just the baseline?
No, for
and
real.
it continues to go from here.
He can still improve as a shooter. Like, don't make no mistake.
I'm saying, man, Asar is that guy. You need every good team has one of them.
Come on, let's get through it. Spenny said we can't, so let's prove him wrong.
How important is beef stew to this team?
Vital.
He's important from the standpoint of, and I'm going to be consistent. If Beef Stew is your number 7 or your number 8, you're a good basketball team. When he's your number 4, you got to acquire some talent. To acquire talent, look it.
Asking somebody to be something they aren't never, ever works. Understand what he is and use him as
But
such.
he is the heart and soul of this team.
Sure.
Make no mistake. For what he brings defensively.
No doubt.
1 minute. Let's go.
Finally,
All right.
final question of the Pistons nickel package.
Look at him slowing down.
Over, under 41.5 wins for this team.
Over.
Over.
Well, that'll do
There
it.
it is, everybody. That was Big D
We did it.
Energy. For Sean Belize, I'm Neil Rule. Thanks for tapping in. We'll see you on Monday. Well, see you later.